It is the Rangers 2023 keep or sell. There's 32 players to go through, but tier list decided to have a bit of a spasm attack and only allow 26 pictures, but we've did another tier list, included the other six. So we're going to wipe the other six out. It's in no particular order. It's literally just 32 Rangers players that have featured this season, or are like, there's a few that haven't featured entirety in their Rangers career, but they were made a big deal when they joined. So we'll do part two first, then we'll jump back to the main screen. We've only six here because obviously 26 at 632, and we're kicking off with Tom Lawrence, right? Keep or sell Tom Lawrence. This could be a long fid, but I'm going to try and hold back for ranting on each player that I think's just shite. Tom Lawrence, keep, because he was really good until he got injured. Now, if he's injury prone and this injury continues to, see, it's a tough one. I mean, you're not gonna be able to get rid of him before this injury. And if this is like a career-threatening injury, man, I can't even remember how much of a deal he was signed up on, but it was a free, so it's going to be a decent long deal, I guess, and that could be bad news. But for Tom Lawrence, I rate him. I think he's really good. And it's no surprise that once he got injured, like the team kind of dipped. Because I feel like in the first couple of weeks, months, how long was he? About a month and a half before he got injured. He was one of the very few bright sparks. It was like him and Cholak in there. But anyway, into a guy that needs to go. John Lundstrom. I mean, last season, John Lundstrom's the best on earth. Is he though? Is he really? I think he's fucking shite, and that is all I'm going to say on that matter. John Lundstrom needs to get in the bin. I don't know what it was. Like last season, he started off so shite, and then from about December to the end of the season, he was good. He was good. Scoring goals against Leipzig and Dortmund. Big, super, scousy, silky John was the man. But he went from Big Match John to No Match John. He wasn't even Wee Match John. Even at like Ibrox, playing against like, Ross County, the guy was just shite. And he is shite. Like, you just see as soon as he was named in that midfield on Sunday, man, against Aberdeen, and you just know that it's just going to be sideways. He brings down the rest of the team by how much he plays. And there's a guy who plays similar position to him by the name of Glenn Kamara, who we'll get to as well, who they just killed it. They just killed the team. And it's no surprise in that Old Firm final, man, with those two. We had no fucking chance looking at that, starting those two sideways merchants. I mean, just like Troops used to call Mohamed El Neni, Mohamed El Sideways, well, that is literally these two. That is it, right? John Suter, we're going to go with keep. Yes, injury prone. Is it a mistake signing them? Personally, no. We got him on a free. And on his day, Big John can be Big Match John. Well, John Lundstrom can't be. You get me? Suter's going for his 17th world title. Big Match John's Lundstrom isn't even in his thugonomic stage, right? So if you get that, you get it. If you don't, ah well. Anyway, yeah, keep him. Why not? Al McGregor, it's time to go. You were a great servant, mate, but I don't care what age you are. If you're done, you're done, and it's sell. We'll put you in front of Lundstrom. Not that that means anything. There's literally just two categories, and if you're top of sell or you're bottom, you're getting out the door. Nadami Offenbor, this guy's come in. He's had a heart issue. He's never played. That's sad. I mean, we don't know what he could have done in the Rangers shirt, but at the end of the day, we're not a charity, so you're going to have to go. Yanis Hadji, we're going to have to keep. So Hadji, like I said, he's had his injuries. I mean, literally the three that we've put in keep so far have had their injury problems. But without their injury problems, man, they could be really brilliant. So that's six. I think that's fair enough. I don't think any people could actually argue with that. Maybe I think the person people would be most split on is probably John Suter. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. But into the big boy section, we've got 26 more to rank. We're going to go from left to right like we just did. And we're going to keep or sell them. Next up, Ryan Jack, out of contract, 30 years old or 31. He's approaching, I mean, he's not done by any means. I think Ryan Jack could still give, 3 or 4 good years regardless. But I don't know. I don't know what to do with Ryan Jack, but I'm going to keep him. Because I feel like I'm getting rid of that many. We're going to have to keep Ryan Jack. Up next, we've got Alex Lowry. Young talent, doesn't get played near enough, but you know what? He's a bit injury prone. And to be honest, I don't think there's many people on this list that ain't injury prone. So we're going to keep him, but he needs to get a good run of games and he needs to be consistently, if he's not starting, he needs to be consistently getting brought off the bench and see what he's capable of. Because, like, we've seen it now for about 18 months with Alex Lowry, man. He's had, like, the odd appearance. He's looked really good. The Scottish, what, Iniesta, he's been called. Remember that game at Tynecastle last season? Like, I think it was like the last game of the season, man. He was brilliant. But then what happens? Doesn't really get used. And then when he does get used, oh, he's good. And then he gets injured, and it's like, ah, well, big Alex Lowry. Going to keep him, though. Up next, Robbie McCrory. Going to sell him because, I don't know, I feel like he's 25 now. He's never been given a chance. And, it's just, no, it's no working out. If we're going to get Butland. But, yeah, has to go. Next up, Scott Wright. Ah, man, I could spend about 25 minutes talking about Scott Wright, because what does Wright rhyme with? Shite. And I think even shite is not too, I think it's too nice of a term to describe Scott Wright, honestly. I know, right? He scored in the Scottish Cup final last year, but that does nothing for me, man. He's shit. He's so bad. Like, I don't know how, he was a part of the deal to bring McCrory from Ibrox to Pataudry. And I think we gave him 500,000 as well. That's an awful deal. I don't care what anyone says. That is abysmal. Just like the player. Like, I know he means well, and he did a wee interview with his ACL, but he's so bad. He is. There's just nothing good about him. He comes on, right? He never starts anymore, which is brilliant. But he comes on. He's got no physicality. Even his pace, like, he might make the one good run when he's on, but his final product's abysmal. It's not like he's making a good run. He's squaring to somebody and they're shafting him out an assist. He'll come on, he'll do a good run, and then he'll just lose it very cheaply, man. Very shite. And I sell every day of the week. Next up, Ryan Kent. He's been a good servant, but 6 goals in his last 89 appearances. Philip Hollander, 7 goals in his 60 appearances for Rangers. I'm sorry, Kent. Love you and leave you, big man. That is where it's going to be with this one. Like, we could keep him. I mean, he's been a massive part of the team for the past 5 years, but I think it's time to move on. You know, if you asked me a month ago, it would have been keep Morelos and Kent, but now I'm done. I am done. They have to go. Up next is Ben Davies. 4.5 million down the Swanee. That could have went into my bank account and we could have just continued playing Leon King in there and nothing would have changed. He's shite. He looked alright next to Goldson. And then as soon as Goldson comes out, he's shite. It was sink or swim, and by fuck did he sink. He's awful, man. He is awful. This guy's not good. He literally needs Connor Goldson to hold his fucking hand. And Souters came in and looked much better than him, despite Davies having the most consistent run in the team. The two, I mean, Souters played, the last 3-4 games in a row. And he's looked like the guy that's been a main part of the team. Obviously, because Souters better, I get that. But this guy's literally been in the team since Beale took over. I mean, even before Beale. I mean, he was getting played when Gio was there. It was like, you know, it was either going to be Davies and Sands, or maybe Sands and King. But Davies was always in about the team. But he's shite. I mean, you're signing the guy that Liverpool bought, didn't even play for Liverpool. They signed him for what, Preston North End? Well, he can fuck off back to North End, because he's shite. He can take the North End off the plank and jump in. Because he's dog meat, man. There's just nothing good about him. 4.5 million. If Rangers are going to spend 4.5 million, and he's been someone fucking good. I mean, at least with Yilmaz, right? 5 million, 4.5. The guy's like 21. One of the like highly thought about young left backs, full backs in Europe. He is. The potential rating this guy could get to. What's Ben Davies? He's what, 27? Yeah, in his prime. But his prime's pish. What good's a player being in his prime if you're shite? There's no good. And he needs to go. Malik Tillman, we need to keep him. We need to sign him. Now, talk about getting him for 5 million for the clause in the contract, the loan. I mean, compare that to Ben Davies. Who the fuck sanctioned 4.5 million for Ben Davies? Honestly, like, he doesn't seem to get injured, but it'd probably be better if he get injured because he's that shite. But anyway, Tillman, get him kept, man. Good player. Need him kept. Young. Is only going to get better. Keep him. Zach Lovelace is up next and doesn't get a game, but he's getting kept. Like, I don't see why he can't get a game. I said about it earlier in the Butland video. I don't see why a guy who's young, got loads of potential, can't even get any minutes against teams now in a season that's dead. I mean, if you don't want to play him in the games that truly matter, fair enough. But why can't he get minutes over players that are leaving or are just shite? Like, why is this guy not getting brought off the bench but Scott Wright is? Come on, Beale. That is a sackable offence because Scott Wright's shite. And talking of Scots, Arfield, he wants to go back to Falkirk. You know, that's where he once was. And he can salute there because I've had enough of Scott. Not that I've had enough of Scott Arfield. He's a great guy, man. He scored some really good goals and a lot of goals. But at the end of the day, man, if you want to start a new era, you need to get rid of players like Arfield. And I'm sorry, it's selfie me. Next up, it's BB, Hanapofari. It's Bona Barisic. And I'm sick of this guy not being able to fucking defend. He can whip in a cross, but his arse drops in big games. So we're going to put him in the sell category. Why not, man? Why not sell him and just play Yilmaz? Yilmaz, so injury prone, I get it, but man, I'd rather go with youth. I wouldn't say he's outstayed his welcome. Like Kent. Kent's much better, but there's just players who've been a core part of the team and they've held down a starting 11 position since Gerrard came in. He's one of them. And then even when Batty came in, kind of switched formation. So it is what it is. Next up, we've got Connor Goldson, recently signed a new contract. Well, I'll say recently, last year. You know what? Yeah, he's our best defender. I've been critical of him though. He does make a lot of mistakes. I think people kiss his ass a wee bit too much, but he's our best defender, and I think him and Suter is the way forward. Personally, up next we have got Saucy Glenn. Well, the sauce has run out. You know when you get your red sauce and you're fucking battering it, the sauce has run out, right? 20 million bottle of red sauce and he's shite. It's run out. It's, you know when your red sauce, you forget to shake it and it comes out in the plate and it's all watery and you don't want to touch the plate. That is Glenn Kamara, but he's left a watery shite on the pitch for far too long, and the pitch needs maintained. So he's getting sold. This guy is shit beyond belief. Honestly, man. For a guy that was so good at one point, it's tragic. Up next, Fashion Sakala. Now again, if you asked me a month ago, I'd say keep. But after that Aberdeen performance, you know what? You can't. What this guy lacks, you can't train. I know, yes, right, you could train on his shooting ability, but he's got the touch of a trampoline. And that's being generous, man. Some trampolines would have better touches than this. And man, he is shit. He is absolutely shit. Like, I know, second half Sakala. Well, look at first half Sakala. That's what I'm going to put in the sell category. First half, because he's so bad, man. He is. Like, yeah, he can do the odd great thing. Like, see that run he did? And he went absolutely, I can't even remember, was it Pollock? He absolutely done in against Aberdeen. Great ball for Tillman. Sakala literally runs around him. Brilliant. That is like world class, man. Breaks his ankles and see he puts it away. Great goal. But he does the hard bit. And it's like the shot's shit. See if at least if he curled it around the goalie, man, hit the post and it went out or it just narrowly went wide. I could maybe accept it, but there's just no attempt from him. It's just run straight into the goalie. We see it so many times, man, where he beats he could beat 10 players and what's he do? He runs out for a throw in, he runs out for a goal kick, he runs into the goalie's hands. That's no good enough. Next up, Redfan Yilmaz. Yeah, he's the future. Looks a bit injury prone though, which is a concern, but you know what? We keep him for now. Up next, Todd Cantwell. It's been really good since he came in. He's grabbed so many man of the matches. Can't complain with Cantwell, my friends. Up next, with Antonio Cholak. Personally, I don't think he's good enough. Some people can bum lick him because he's got 18 goals and 37 appearances or something. I don't know what it is, right? Which is all good, but I think the guy's shite. And yeah, and most of these goals are tap-ins, and I get it. You need a tap-in merchant to get across the line, but see if Cholak was truly that good, man. I feel like he would be keeping a 10% fit Morelos out the team, regardless of people's opinions. He would have to be, but he hasn't been, and he goes missing more often than not. Like, he has to have balls delivered to him on a silver platter for him to do anything meaningful, sorry. And I would get rid of him. Or maybe I'd give him one more year since we just signed him, but I am going to keep him, right? Because I'm literally getting rid of every other striker, so we need one, at least for the new season. Up next, with Adam Devine, keep youngster. He's come in and he's did jobs, but again, where is he? He's not getting any more chances, and I don't understand why. Honestly, I don't, and it sucks. Up next with Leon King. Like I said, yes, looked like a bag of shite when he got flung into the deep end against like Liverpool and Napoli. Even though I think at home against Liverpool he was a bit unlucky. I mean, I don't even think it was much of a penalty, but he gave it away. But yeah, I'd rather play an 18-year-old, 19-year-old with so much potential rather than play Ben Davies. Ben Davies is shite. So we're going to move on to the big man, which is Leon King, and we're going to put him in keep. Which is shocking because at this point, keep is actually outdoing sell. But I guess you've got that many players. You kind of need to have more keep or else you're going to have no squad. Up next, we've got Nicholas Raskin. It's keep. You know what, apart from that game against Aberdeen, he's been really good. He absolutely went missing in that game against Aberdeen. Then again, most players did. Up next, Philip Hollander. On his day, brilliant, but this injury looks like it's took a hold of him and he's done. So it's going to be sell. We're not a hospital camp, big man. Up next, Rabi Matondo. I see potential with him. Like, his final product's not there, but he can control a football. He's similar to Sakala, where his final product's shite, but he has the ability to be able to actually control. He's got decent ball control. Like, if you look at against Aberdeen, he that touch where he was played through and he took it well, and yes, it hit the post and it went out, but he actually can touch the ball. So for me, and he's young, I think he's got a lot of potential, man, so I'm going to put him in keep. Up next with John McLaughlin. There's too many Johns on this list that are just shite, and he's one of them. He's out the door, right? Saranara, good night. Again, like, I think he did get made out to be a bit of a scapegoat. Has he really been worse than McGregor this season? No. I think CJ Noble said that Alan McGregor's got a 40% save rate, or might be the team in general, but I think it's Alan McGregor, where 40% of the shots that we have faced have went in. I think it might just be McGregor. It could be McLaughlin, so I don't want to just throw McGregor under the bus. But that's fucking shit. That means like one, and I mean it's even more like, but that is like 1 in every 3 shots that we face goes in. And because it's 40%, it's much higher, 7%. I mean, it's like, it's literally in the middle, a wee bit less, like, but it's literally in the middle between half and a third. That's just, come on, folks, that's no good enough. Really not. I mean, it's like, it's no, man. It's bogging. That's what that is. It's like 3 out of every 7 shots we face goes in. Come on, Jack Butland. You know what to do. Next up with Alfredo, just a Buffalo soldier in the cell category. Yep, Morelos, son. It is time to go. Sorry, it has to happen. Love you, mate, but it has to go. Right? Has to go. Next up, Stephen Davis, a guy who's been done for a while. Well, I say done for a while. I think the COVID season was his last good year. I mean, I believe he won like Writers Player of the Year. But you can just see, man, this guy against like teams in the Champions League, he's done. He's 37. He's got like a massive knee injury that most players would struggle to come back from, let alone a 38-year-old. Like, I was going to say I don't mind giving him a last game, but what are we? A tribute act? Some people would say we are a tribute act, so maybe Davis could fucking come back, but no, get rid of him. Honestly. And then this pish, play him. Play him, it's a player coach role. How about, right, it's a player coach role, but you get a coach and fuck off back to TJ, or in this case, Belfast, big man. Next up with Kumar Roof, injury prone. But he scores, he gets a goal contribution every 1 and 2 games. I believe he's in the hospital every 1 or 2 weeks, man. He's pish. We need to move on for Kumar Roof. Honestly, man, the guy, I mean, I wouldn't say he's shit, right? But what good is those sort of numbers when you're injured for 9 months out of the year? And, you know, the other 2 months, it's like the summer break. What could it be with Kumar Roof, honestly? And next up, we've got James Tavernier. Now, I'm very tempted to put him in the sell category. But he's the captain. He gets goals. He gets assists. And the only reason I'm not putting him in the sell category, because yes, He's wank at defending, but I would actually play him a bit more further forward. I don't see why that can't be done. Honestly, like, if we're at home, right, play him right back if needs must, because, we're going to do better against the shite teams in the league. But in Europe, against Celtic or against, like, away to Pataudry, for example, Easter Road, Tynecastle, I don't see why we can't bring in a right back. And then again, if we bring in a right back and he's better than Tav, he probably should be starting at home anyway. But Tav, back in the day, man, when he first came, he was playing right mid. And see the amount of chances and goals that he gets for right back. Why not just play him right mid? We had that opportunity with Patterson and Tav, and we kind of blew it. But again, Tav, he's the captain. Even just playing him at right back, I'd still say keep. But it's a close one. But I'm going to say keep, which means out of 32 players, we're keeping 16 and we're getting rid of 16. If that isn't a rebuild for Beale, I don't know what is. Now, I know I said, well, I'm kind of seeing it in Beale's eyes for Robin McCrory. For everyone else's, I was kind of like, well, that's just my eyes. Am I wrong with this? I think we need to get rid of a lot of dead weight, and I don't think I've kept any dead weight. I've kept all the youngsters. I've kept all pretty much the new signings, and the captain. So I think what I've done here is exactly on the money. But that's where I'm going to leave you. I'll put the link in the descriptions to both the tier lists. I'll have to do two links because tier lists is pitch. But anyway, folks, that is us siding out. There'll probably be a bit of transfer news later on. We'll probably be linked to Ronaldo later on because he wants to continue his Champions League dream. And then we're like, we're going to win the Old Firm now. But anyway, load of BS media shite. But until next time, that is my list. Leave a like if you agreed. Leave a like if you disagreed. And I'm sure there'll be some obsessed comments coming thick and fast. But until next time, peace.